30 years ago, people from the village of Jingdi in North China's Taihang Mountains decided to build a highway to connect the outside world. Equipped with self-made explosives, tools, and food, they worked for 15 years to dig a 1.5-kilometer-long highway on the side of the cliffs. China View has more.
Before the highway was built, local residents were isolated from the outside world. If someone wanted to go to the nearest township or county, they had to climb stone steps along the edge of the mountain's cliffs. Some steps had barely enough room for half a foot. No one could reach the peak without losing their breath.
If our produce cannot be carried outside the mountain, it becomes rotten. We also need things from the nearest township, but it is hard for us to bring things back to the village, especially for the elderly. We're often short of coal.
In 1985, the villagers decided to build a road to connect the village with the township. They had no choice but to dig out a tunnel through the precipitous cliffs.
Over 300 villagers took turns building the road. When building the upper half, we had to eat and sleep inside a cave. We carried our own tools and food. Men, women, children, and the elderly all joined in.
During less busy times, the entire village would take to the mountain to build the road. During periods of heavy snow that barricaded the way out, many of them had to live on the mountain. Sang Xueming, vice director of the village committee, said they relied on steamed cornbread and cold water as their only sources of nourishment. The villagers had to make their own explosives to clear rubble and make way for the road, as they lacked modern digging equipment and dynamite. The cliffs were steep and planning was difficult. They could take measurements only with the naked eye. Their project later received support from the Pingshun County government, which administers the village. Through concerted efforts, the highway was completed on March 2, 2000. The highway leads not only to Pingshun County in North China's Shanxi province, but also links with Lin County in neighboring Henan province. Sang still remembers seeing a car drive on the highway for the first time.
We heard the hum of a car when we were having lunch at home. When we rushed out and saw a van coming out of the tunnel, a bittersweet feeling ran over me. Thankfully, all our efforts paid off.
Today, the highway has noticeably improved local residents' livelihoods. Their produce can be easily sold outside the village, and daily necessities can be brought in more easily. The village is even developing its own tourism industry, receiving more than 100,000 tourists each year.
After hearing about the story behind the highway, we felt deep respect for this place and those who built it for the benefit of their children. We come here every so often to experience this greatness.